Hey everyone, it's Jennine, a local realtor here in the Sherwood Park and Edmonton area. Today I want to go over the market, the real estate market, and what's been happening around the area. So I can imagine that you've probably seen headlines of market crashing and the real estate bubble's going to burst and all these different things about the market. But what is really happening actually? Let's take a look. So today we're going to be looking at the Sherwood Park, and we're going to start with the single family homes in Sherwood Park. So remember, single family homes are basically anything that's not in a condo board. So you can have detached homes, you can have townhomes, duplexes, basically anything that's not in a condo board. So overall, Sherwood Park continues to face an inventory problem, which is continues to drive prices up, and there's a lot of demand. So take a look at this. The total sales is 104 for the month of June, and active listings are only 103. So we have less than a month worth of inventory. The price has increased from the previous month, and if you take a look at even earlier this winter, the price has increased significantly from $449 to $523. Average days on market are continuing to be low. So let's take a look at a little bit more in detail. So we still have a very low amount of inventory, which is driving the price increase in Sherwood Park. That's the main factor here, low inventory. So before, most things were going at or over list price, but with the higher interest rates, things are decreasing a little bit. Like, we're not seeing as many going at or over list price. So for example, these are pretty much the most popular range, from 300 to 700 in Sherwood Park, still kind of floating around 50%, around between the 400 to 600. Whereas we were just over 50%. And if you look at the buying frenzy month of March, we were over 70% of listings going at or over list price. So there's still some opportunities for buyers. I know a lot of buyers were struggling in Sherwood Park and they couldn't find anything because crazy bidding wars and just no inventory. So with that being said, there's less of that happening, but there's still not that much inventory at the moment. So if there's not much inventory and there's not as many going at or over list, with the headlines and everything and the higher interest rates, you're probably thinking, well, maybe it's right. Maybe the market is crashing. But this is what I want to point out. Even with a bit of a decrease, look at compared to last year at this time. Last year, our average price in June was $465. This year, the average is $523. So it's, even though we see a little bit of a dip, it is still way over from the previous year. And having those little bit of dips are pretty natural in real estate, and we're still at lower interest rates compared to some other previous years, right? And with that said, the average days on market are still quite low. Like, let's look at, so kind of look at these numbers, just over 2 weeks, around the 2-week mark. Let's go to January. Quite different, right? Over a month for most of them. The 500 to 600 range was kind of the odd one out there. Overall, the market in Sherwood Park is still quite strong. So what can you do as a seller? Make sure your home is priced competitively and show your home in the best light possible. There is not a lot of inventory and there's a lot of demand. So if yours is showing the strongest, you will land in this percentage at or over list price. And as a buyer, now's your opportunity to get in there where things aren't going 70% selling at or over list price. Now's your chance to find a place that might have been on a little longer and might be open to some offers. So as always, there's always so many different factors that go into real estate. So the next time you see that headlines that everything's crashing and the bubble's going to burst, just take it with a grain of salt, because there are a lot of different factors, and those articles are talking about Canada as a whole. So that's just kind of impossible to talk about as a whole, because everything, there's so many factors that influence the market. Okay, and before we stop there, we're going to just check out the condo market in Sherwood Park. So a little bit of increase in sales, decrease in inventory. The price has dipped a little bit, coming to more of a consistent price. And the days on market are kind of holding steady for the past few months here. With lower interest rates, a lot of people were going into the single family homes instead of the condo market, as you can tell with higher days on market, even during the buying frenzy, because people are doing the single family homes, right? But now with the interest rates going higher and purchasing power might be decreasing for some people, condo markets are looking a little bit more attractive, so they're spending less time on the market. So even though we had a bit of a decrease in price, on average price compared to last month, we are still up from last year's average of 276. We're starting to see lower amounts of inventory for the condo market in Sherwood Park. It's also a good time for investors, as more people are going to be looking for rentals. This is a good time to get into that market if you are looking for an investment property. And there's a lot less competition, so it's not selling at or over list price. So as always, if you want to go over any of these numbers and details, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to chat and see how I can help you. Until next time, see ya.